The stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
We're on the Moontrain!
This is how you become a day
Why did the
trader.
Epstein files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
Thank you for the question.
And thank you for tuning in once again to the daily recap video. Why did I show you this? Because it's gonna become very, very important. Now, before we get into the thick of things, could you please like and subscribe? Thank you. Now, it is no secret that the market has now coiled for freaking 4 months right here. Okay, we arrived in this range in early October. We've had one fake breakout, one fake breakdown, inverted head and shoulders, and then we have had one fake breakdown and another fake breakdown. Okay, so just to recap last week's Friday, when we had the Ripper here, we had a trend change. We've now received another trend change alert. These used to be like, you know, you got a trend change and you got a good week out of it. The market is so psychotic and fucking nuts now that it can literally be for 15 minutes. Okay, so again, if you want to, you could entertain that we have gone up since the last trend change, which we got here, and that was that move, and then we haven't gone anywhere. So again, I am a very instinct-based trader. I do have to plan ahead and always do, and that's why I make these videos, to show up in order to be able to react better. I like to prep. Okay, and I find success through that method. Maybe it's because I have learning disabilities and this and that, and I need to like prepare, but I just think it's passion. So see this trend line here. This trend line goes back to this high here, all-time high in December. Now watch it. Every time we come up to it, we have had a false breakout and we've been slammed back down. So this setup here and this setup here are identical to this setup. However, and you can fucking say, bro, that's too many indicators. Okay, whatever, don't care, works for me. I don't care if you have to rub a, you know, 8 ball. If it works for you, fantastic. The difference here is we have not gone to this trend line. Okay, we have not gone to that trend line, and this makes me very suspicious. So I was the man with the plan, right? My plan was to ride those calls overnight. I was in 695s, we got to 696. I also had 698, and we day traded, I think, 698 and 697s quite a few times today, successfully so. Here, here, and here. And then we got that bullshit news. We had some Fed Logan was yapping bullshit, banks absolutely cratered, and Trump said he was going to send out a boat. So this is, even though I'm prepared and I have taken a put position for Thursday here when we pierce the Bollinger Band. I mean 696s, and the bottom of the range is that ghost of 681.50, so I'm in some 682s. Something didn't sit right with me. Something didn't sit right with me at all during this whole sell. I kept saying live on voice like, this is sketchy, it's not sitting right with me. So I decided to, instead of going on puts here, I closed out a bunch of positions except my app and some BABA, but I'm like 95% cash. But what I did was I absolutely hammered 698 calls on this drop down. Why? Because they became 20. That is the top of the range. Okay, so I bought calls here. We have this ghost here. I don't know if we're going up or down tomorrow. I still think down. However, the setup was here for a gap up. So I had to take the trade and kind of offer up those put positions in case, meaning I bought calls for 20. If we gap up, we probably go for 698. And those calls will probably go 500%, then my week is done. If we gap down, I'll be flat because the puts will have juiced, the calls will be zeroed out, and I know that it's destination 681.50. See what I'm saying? So when in doubt, you have to play defense, and I positioned myself in the way that if we rip, I make a lot of money, and if the move is in fact down, we're going down to here, we're going to the gap. I don't expect this gap to fill, but we're going down here. If we are down here by Thursday close, I will absolutely long heavy. And the reason I'm saying this is boss man is in town, he's gonna give his orders. And I think the stock market is gonna tell us what's gonna happen next, meaning if we rip on shitty NFP numbers, it's almost certain that something's going down in Iran over the weekend. And if we come down, we have a 2-day sale program, and that CPI will come in cool. That's what Trueflation says. Doesn't mean that it reflects reality, but that's what I think happens, and this becomes a double bottom of this gap and you go up. Okay? And that's what I think, and in that case you pump into the new moon. Okay? Now, the NAMO is exactly the same as yesterday. This is a bullish setup, and I'm kind of... The point I'm trying to make is you can plan ahead, and you should plan ahead. You should watch these videos. But you gotta reach a level as a trader where you trade with instinct. If the shit hits the fan in real life and you don't have time to think, you're going to react based on your gut instinct. And that's what I did here today. Is you have a wall into the close on some bullshit, you still have an MOC buy. Of course I'm gonna fucking buy 20s. You know me. I love to buy when there's max fear. That's also a hammer candle, right? So then I'm, sitting here, I'm sitting around and wondering what the fuck's going on. And I spot this here, 1 billion today, price 692. That's bigger than the MOC, and that came out after the MOC. Okay, today we did pair that 681 Phantom or Ghost with a Phantom. So it's a print outside, it's a dark pool print. It's not a block, it's a dark pool print from outside the market. Okay, what do you need to rip? Obviously, this has a perfect head and shoulders setup and should come down to here if we sell, and if it does so, you know what we're playing on Friday. When we do this and the VIX is this high, unless we're changing VIX range, there's a good chance of a gap up. So of course I had to take that trade. But again, I tried to explain to you how I positioned myself, so either way I'll be good, which is a great place to be at as a trader. I hope that makes sense to you. The call and put ratio is down to there. Okay, so this number tomorrow, Navarro was already out saying it's gonna be shit, but that could be the trap, right? So tomorrow is Wednesday. You get the NFP report. Then we trade based on that. Tomorrow is also Wednesday. So there's a chance that this bad boy activates again. And we have the 280 ghost candle. So for me, this week is about Apple and the opening SPY trade, JPM, and then app. Okay? Because if this is down on two bogus short reports, this shit's gonna rip. Okay, we have a lot of ghosts to the upside, and we had a great full moon circle meeting today where we game planned this for an hour. And if it's something that interests you, feel free to join us anytime. Still have that master candle to up here, and Dow Jones, everybody's super bearish, but the fact is that the Dow Jones put in all-time high today, more in points than the first day of the financial crash back in the day. So these moves are insane, absolutely incredible. Also, this was green, this is not selling. So what I wanted to point out here is I'm not like Mr. Volume Trader, but on a sell when you don't crack over average volume, it kind of indicates that it's bullshit. So those are my thoughts, laying out the pathway for the rest of the week. I hope that this sparks some good ideas for you, and remember, Baba is closed next week, China's closed next week, but we caught this move today. That was great. I thankfully rolled out a starter position only on these 3 weeks out, so I'm not upset about this. Probably try to play this flush tomorrow. Okay, so we kind of have to wait and see tomorrow. Cash is a position. I've laid out the targets, and we'll do it live. God bless. Thank you all.
We're riding with the Moontrain.